we go for examination, people would ask, okay, when two tables link together, they have to have common columns, just like this one here. We also kind of mentioned something like that before in class, right? Employee table and department table, they link together because they have a common column called department, right? That's allow them to link together. In our lecture, we say they have a primary foreign key relationship, right? And here we have to learn one more term because from time to time people ask us about it. That would be enforcing referential integrity. Right? Enforcing referential integrity. And if people ask us what is enforcing referential integrity means in examination, do remember you have to give this explanation. That's the explanation. We have to change access to database and say, okay, database do not let you delete a record from one table that has a data record in another table, which would result in orphan records. That means two tables, if they link together, they should have common column. And the explanation actually is targeting on a particular record, right, from record level. In this example here, employee department table link together, right? So if that's the case, if you want to delete John, Calhoun, and engineering, this is not possible because you have to then delete John, Calhoun, engineering, and this engineering explanation. That's what is meant by that. This is the complete set now because they now link together. These few boxes together, they link together. You can't simply delete this one, all right, and leave this one kind of handling, and we call this partial deletion. Partial deletion will make a record to be incomplete, right? So if you delete John, Calhoun, and ENG engineering will be deleted. Accordingly, Mary HK engineering will be deleted too. Otherwise, Mary HK engineering will be partial, right? That's the meaning of that. Right? So the definition here given actually is centering on, all right, two columns linked, two tables linked together. They have common column. If you delete anything in between, you lead to partial deletion. Right? That's the definition. 呢個要背嘅嚇。咁有時咧喺考試嗰陣時咧會問嘅喎嚇。咁你問嗰陣時咧，你要講翻係 database 就唔俾你做呢樣嘢。因為如果做呢樣嘢咧，就會令到咧成個完整嘅檔案咧好似冇咁缺咁。佢就話佢叫呢種咧叫做 orphan records， 即係好似官仔咁樣。Alright. Now we have further something more added to it, apart from having, okay, two tables, common column linked together. Okay, we can add something more. That's the options. The option here says something more. This option normally is the business working, right? When we say in options, meaning that you can leave it not using it at all. You can use either one of them here, okay, or you can use both of them, right? That means options. Now remember, it's only that two tables have common column, that means enforced referential integrity, then we can consider adding these two options, right? So this is step 2, this is step 1. Without step 1, we don't go for step 2. That's something you have to know. Okay, what was the first option? The first option called cascade update. This is the case, right? For example, this table, common columns already, right? So they have referential integrity. If we say, okay, if we add the option cascade update to it, that means if I change ENG now to EG, for example, this change will go, all right? Will go all the way down, will go to the table linking it. So John and Mary ENG will change to EG accordingly, right? That's what we meant by cascade update. Not all systems are going to be like that. Some mechanical systems, they don't follow this one, all right? Even the two tables linked together, they may have different things, right? Even some related field change, they don't change accordingly, right? But most of the management information system, they follow this way, right? So it's not all systems following this kind of update. Cascade update is only applicable to management system, but not accounting system, right? It's not applicable to sales system either. All right. If you understand cascade update, another option, cascade delete, will come natural to you. What is meant by that is like that, right? If two tables just like that link together,
if you delete anything, say engineering there, this deletion would make Mary, John delete accordingly because they link together. That means cascade delete. So this is an option you can add also. And most of the sales system follow this one, alright? Because most of the sales system would leave one table to record the sales basic detail and the per item purchase in another table. So if you void, for example, you cancel the order of a sales transaction, the details, alright, the basic information of the sales will be deleted. The things you purchase will be deleted accordingly, right? That will be sales system. But for most management system, they don't, because if even you delete a particular department, Mary John probably have to keep for some time because of the labor ordinance requirement that we have to keep employee information, even they leave the organization for for 6 months at least. Now that's something we have to know. Now today we'll carry on, right? This one actually being tested in examination, so you do have to know all those things. 呢個考過嘅以前，所以咧你要知呢兩個可以選擇嘅選項啊。一旦咧我哋有嘅 financial integrity 之後咧，我哋可以有兩個選擇嘅，就呢兩個啊，你可以選晒嘅或者唔選，或者選其中一個都得啊。咁呢個咧就係嗰兩個選擇嘅名，我哋以前考過嘅喺 exam 所以你留意。Now, today we'll work on exercise 3. Before that, let's go to Moodle, right? Let's download the file first. The file that we have to work on today is MS Access Classroom 2 file. Let's click on it and save it onto the desktop. Remember, because after working on it today, we have to upload it. Right. And then remember, before we work on this Access file, we have to right-click it, go to properties and block it, and OK. Otherwise, things that we work on the file may not be saved. Alright? So remember, you download the file, you right-click it, you go to properties, you unblock it first, because a lot of the viruses, Trojan horse, they normally save themselves as a database file. That's why operating system is very alert to those files. Operating system 咧，所有系統咧好驚呢啲 database 檔案，因為好多啲病毒咧都係用呢個形式出現嘅，所以我哋咧要 unblock 咗佢入邊啦。And then once you open it, you see operating system still safeguarding and say, okay, security warning. You have to enable it. Then we can click on things that we have we done last time. Okay, what's the things we have to do in exercise 3? Let's explore about it. Right? Explore some part of it. Right? Take a look at. Today we have to
we have an employee table already, right? Now we have to make another table called position and let them link together. That's actually the things we have to do in exercise 3.
So before we make a new table, we say, okay, in an employee table, let's change a column position to position code. Wow, this one is really simple. Let's work on it. Right-click the table. We have right-click, and then go for rename. Go for data design view. Right, that's the basic dictionary. Go for design view. And then, let's go to the last column.
The last column is position. We have to change name here from position to position code, alright?
So, in the last column, we add CODE to this field, right? Call it position code now, rather than position. Very simple, isn't it? And then we save it. Press save, or Control S, save it. Right, we save it. After saving it, close it, please. Close it.
Because later we have to make another table and link to it. Okay, so you must close the table, otherwise you can't create relationship. 咁咧，你做完之後咧，將頭先嗰個 column 嘅名變咗做 position code 之後咧，你要刪咗佢。嗱，記得好似刪咗個字格。如果唔係一陣間咧就標唔到 relationship 嘅話，一定要刪咗佢。Okay, close it.
Now, let's make a new table. The new table is called position. Very simple table, only 2 columns. Okay. Now, so let's practice it a little bit and have a kind of treat it as a kind of review of last tutorial. 咁我哋講溫習翻咧就係點樣做 table 做一個新嘅 table 嘅 position. Let's go to create work ribbon. To make a table, remember we have to go to tables and click on button called table design. And then in field name here, let's type. The first field is called position code. Let's do it together. Position code, right? Position code. And the data type is text, T-E-X-T. The field size is 2 characters only, 2. Okay, 2. And remember, because we are not using a computer in an English-speaking country, so we have to adjust the IME mode. That's the input method environment. Change it from no control to no, to off, sorry, to off. 咁記得咧，將 IME mode 轉做 off 啦。我哋喺一個非英語嘅國家度，所以我哋要控制個輸入法暫停，我哋唔好俾佢不受控制。Right? Change IME mode to be off. Once you're done with that, we click the box just below position code to temporarily save it. Right? And then we can move the cursor next to position code. Alright, you see a black arrow pointing to it. You right click it because every table must have a primary key. So make it a primary key. Alright, primary key. Alright. You select primary key. After you right click it, you have an option here called primary key. Let's choose it. And also you can copy. You go back to position code. Go to the left of it. You see the black arrow again. Right click it. This time we copy this field. Let's copy the field. Copy it. And then we click the box just below position code. Right click and paste this one. Right? So we have another position code. Right? But this one we change it. We change it from position code to position description. Right? The field size for that
length is 35, right? So let's change 2 to 35, right? 35.
Right, 35. And then you can click the box below description, alright, to temporarily save it. After that, let's save the table. You can press Ctrl S or press the top save button at the top left hand corner. It asks you for the table name. The table this time is called position. And then you press OK to complete saving.
Now, if you can save the table down, you're going to find out in table we have another new one added below employee, and that would be position. Right? Position. Now, remember last time when we added data, we had 2 ways to do that. One is data sheet view, data sheet approach. Another one is form, right? Form. Now today, because we have to enter just those little data, so let's use data sheet. It's actually very simple. We need not go for form. Now go here on the top left hand corner. We have some data sheet here, right? That actually data sheet view. Let's click on it, and then we can enter data here. When you enter the data for this table, be very careful on this column because this is the common column. You cannot make any mistake there. Every letter, alright, capital or small letter, you have to follow it strictly, alright. But for this one, okay, even though there will be some mistake there, doesn't matter. But this one you have to be very careful because that would link later.
咁喺打呢啲字嗰陣時咧，左面呢個咧，佢宣告咧，你千祈唔好打錯喎，打錯會出事嘅，因為呢間咧我哋做呢個關係㗎嘛。右面嗰啲咧，你係咁打下都冇問題。Right, let's start now. Right, the first one is LA, right? Tab, that means librarian. And the second one is AL, big A, big L, and that's assistant, librarian. And then the next one is PS, that's personal secretary. Tab, and the next one is EO, remember, big E, big O, that's executive officer. And the next one is CO, that's clerical officer. Done.
Right? Done. And again, once you finish tapping it all the way through, it's automatically saved, so you need not press any save button. 呢個咧就自動儲存嘅，所以唔使撳儲存嗰個掣嘅。
Now you finish. After you finish inputting them, typing them, you have to close it.
入完之後咧，唔該係刪咗佢。Because later we have to build a relationship, we can't open it, right? So once you finish typing them, close it. Remember, close it. Right? And before you close it, make sure, right, those things correct. 咁啊刪之前咧，真係要睇清楚呢啲係冇錯，呢啲符號唔好整錯嚇。呢啲咧係咁樣打下都得，打錯咗都唔關係嘅。OK, finish, close. 刪咗未啦嚇，真係要刪咗佢啦嚇。如果唔刪咧係做唔到嘅嚇，陣間要過一步。Okay, now let's go for the next step, linking the two tables. If you want to link two tables, let's go for database to web ribbon. And there you see there's a relationships area, and let's click a button here called relationships. 咁我哋咧去 database tools 嗰個工具嗰度咧撳一個叫關係嘅掣。Then you see a workbench. That's the relationships workbench, and we can let the table go to the workbench. Employee needed, so you click employee and add, and the tables go there. And then you click position, add, and position will be there. After you get the two tables that need to link together, put on the workbench, you close it, we close it. Right? We can also move this around, right, or make it bigger so it will be comfortable to work with. 咁呢啲嚿嘢咧冇特別位置啊，所以周圍喐都得。咁你整到佢大大地，睇得清清楚楚，舒舒服服咁啊 OK 啦。Right? Right, because this is the work area, you can move things around. 呢個咧你俾你亂咁喐嘢啊，周圍喐都得。Okay. Now, the table show you all the columns, and you see two columns have the same name. Position code, right? These are the columns that we want to link together. You click either this one or this one, doesn't matter. You click on it, and then you press the left mouse button, drag it over. When it touches the other common column, you release button, and then there will be a window pop up. Let's do it. Click this one or that one, doesn't matter. Click on it, right? Keep pressing the mouse button, drag to the other same column. Once you reach it, release your mouse button. Ta-da! Then you see a dialog box asking you if these two columns want to join, right? That will be position code joining and employee position code. Right? Let's do it again. 咁咧你咧可以將呢兩個同名嘅 column 咧黐埋。咁你撳任何一邊都得㗎，撳住佢之後咧就撳實佢，唔好放手，跟住拉過對面同名嘅位置放手。咁你就會見到呢個對話視窗咧，就問你係咪想將 position 入邊嘅職位編碼同埋 employee 入邊嘅職位編碼黐埋。咁如果你見到呢個係咁咧，你就可以放心啦，你就做啱咗啦。Now, computer still doesn't know they are common columns. So the first thing you have to do is you take this one. Once you tick enforce web-central integrity, you tell the computer right away that they are common column. 咁而家電腦唔知佢哋係common column 可以黐埋嘅喎，但係你而家咁樣 tick 咗呢個嘢之後咧，電腦就知啦。以後佢哋咧就係黐住啦。However, you can add something more to that common column relationship. You can say, okay, cascade up there, cascade delete. 咁跟住咧，你睇到啦，有兩個選擇。之前咧，你睇到咧係選唔到喎嚇。You can't click it before, but once you click right enforce referential integrity, that means they are common column. You can choose them. 咁你直接剔咗呢個咧，呢兩個先可以選嘅嚇。所以呢個咧係一個 option， 就係一個選擇嚇。要有第一步先有第二步嘅，第二步嚟嘅。Now today, we need not take two of them. We just take one. That would be cascade update. That would be okay, right? Just take today's cascade update, even though the exercise say take down both, but we just take one, right? That's gonna be fine. And then we create, ta-da! If you close everything, just as I told you, you're gonna find out there will be one too many here, one too many. This one means name, right? This one means name. 咁如果咧你真係乖乖地咁樣咧，就係刪晒啲 table 嚟做咧，佢又會出咗呢個啦，一對多嘅關係啦，好靚仔嘅。But it's not saved yet. You have to save it. So let's save it first by pressing Ctrl S or the top left hand save button there. I saved it already. Once you save it, close it. Close it. Right? So what's the changes made? Let's double click position and have a look.
咁有咩改變咗咧 ？Now you're gonna find out
before AL there, they now have a little cross, right?
explore a little bit now.
That's what we meant by linking, and that's also explained to you why. Now, Chen Zhengjie cannot be deleted alone because Chen Zhengjie now is linking to AL assistant, right? Like that, right? Chen Jialing the same is linking to AL, and that's why if you delete Chen Zhengjie, alright, that will be incomplete for the whole record. 你會發覺咧，而家咧被黐埋咗啊，所以咧你唔可以立亂咁樣將陳俊傑啊、陳嘉玲拎走㗎。如果唔係咧，佢成個整體咧就好似冇咁一橛咁樣，佢唔俾你咁做嘅。我哋叫呢啲做 orphan record 就如果咁樣，或者叫 partial deletion。呢個就係黐埋嘅意思啦啊 ，linking，right? That's why we call it relationship, right? Now let's close it. Now we get the idea. Okay, we have something more to do. This time is about field properties. Field properties, we mentioned it already in the previous tutorial, which we mentioned on page 61, 62. Now, in our course, there's only actually two field properties that you must master. One is index, the other one is validation rule. Index is to speed up searching for the column, right? And today we'll let last name and set it indexed, right? Index means arranging something from small to big or big to small, A to Z or Z to A. So let's take a look at last name. Last name is in employee table. So we right click employee and go for design view. And then we go to last name. Then you see a lot of field properties, field expression. And today we concentrate on this one, indexed. Now, take a look at the option for index. If you want to index something, you have three choices. You don't index it, that will be no. If you index it, you have two choices. One is duplicates okay, one is no duplicates. Duplicates mean repeatable or not. For last name, which one would you choose? Because someone can have the same surname like Chan, like Chow, right? So we have to choose yes, duplicates okay. If we choose yes, no duplicates, what would happen? Alright, two person, alright, with the same surname, only one person can get to the database. Another one, they have to change the surname, otherwise they can't get into the database. Remember, and that's why yes, no duplicates would not be suitable in this case. 如果你揀 index 咧，其實係將某一個 column 咧由大至細或者細至咁排。咁樣排有咩好處咧？咁就可以咧令你揾嘢快啲嘅。譬如你話幫我聽 A 至 Z 咁排啦，你個姓咧就啱啱係 D，for example， 咁我就去 D 個 column 抽你出嚟。咁咪快啲嘛 A 至 Z 排咗嘛，有次序啊嘛，咁咪快咯啊！但係喺 last name 個情況咧，我哋咧有兩個選項㗎嚇。如果係做 index， 一咧就係可重複，一個咧就不可重複。咁喺姓氏嚟講，我哋要俾佢重複㗎嚇。如果唔係咧，我哋揀咗下面呢個不可重複咧，第一個人姓陳咧，第二個人就要改姓先可以輸入俾上嘅好咁就出事啦，係咪先 ？Now, these options we have to remember. Because in examination, you need to write it out. Remember, right? So remember that, right? When you go for exam, those kind of things we have to write out from time to time. Yes, duplicates okay. This time. There's always a question asked. Index is very good because it set the things find a very fast manner. Shall I index everything in the table? The answer is no. Remember. Because if you index all columns, you have the maximum search speed. However, if this table made into an internet form, if you click submit for a particular record, that would take you a very long time for it to be saved. The reason is if you index everything, computer have to search for correct position and to add the record in, and that searching takes a lot of time. 咁咧有個問題成日都會問㗎，喺考試都係嘅。既然 index 咧可以咧就加速咁樣選擇，即係令你揾嘢揾得快啲。咁我哋全部可能都 index 咗冇咧？嗱咁樣做法咧，你會得到絕對嘅搜索速度，即係好快咁樣做啲嘢。但係咧，如果呢張咁樣嘅 table 變咗做 internet form 咁樣，跟住你撳 submit 咧，你想儲出啲嘢咧，佢會好耐嘅，因為咧佢會咧每一次入即係檔案咧，每一個 column 都要揾翻啱嘅位置攝佢入去。咁佢揾翻啱嘅位置攝佢去嗰下咧係好耐嘅，其實 ，OK， 所以我哋唔會
所有嘅 column 都做晒 index， 就係我淨係咧會做一啲我哋會揾嘢，有機會揾嘢嘅 column， 唔係所有都做。Remember, not all fields, not all columns make index. Only columns that we normally use for searching, we index it. Right? That's fair enough. Now, another things that we sometimes need to build on the database that will be validation rule. Validation rule this time we have to learn is not now, meaning that we cannot leave a particular box in data entry to be blank. Just like that, we make an internet form from time to time. You see some boxes where we have a star next to it, right? If you intentionally leave the star without filling in anything and submit, your submission will fail, right? That would be that star. 咁我哋而家做緊呢個 validation rule is not now 就係好似你做 internet form， 有時有啲即係網上嘅表格咧，佢有個星星，譬如你平時身份證號碼或者 email address， 你特登唔填一啲咁submit，佢submit唔到㗎嘛。你係想咁樣，即係話咧，佢一定要填一啲嘢。Validation is not now 意思就係一定要填啦，不能夠留空。Now means blank, alright? So today we can't let the user enter a record without surname, and that's why in validation rule
Field properties here will write down
is not now, alright? Write down is not now.
and then this last name will be a field that you must input, right? Otherwise the record cannot be saved.
咁如果你咁寫咧，咁咧呢個咁嘅檔案咧，你撳晒咁多個 column 之後，如果你唔特登唔入 last name 咧，你就儲唔到喎，咁俾你儲喎。Okay? Another field that we need to set to be is not now today would be position code. Position code.
Now you can also go there and in validation rule type is not now, right? That's one way to do that, right? But actually, among all the field properties, apart from validation rule property setting is not now, there's actually another way letting you to force user to input something, right? That would be required. You can turn it yes. Well, depending on whether you can spell well. If you cannot spell very well, I would recommend you try to memorize setting required property to be yes, right?
That would actually do the same thing as you do validation rule is not now. 用 validation rule 度咧寫上 is not now 咧係可以咧防止嗰啲咧輸入資料嗰人咧就漏咗嗰一個格仔。但係咧好多時去考試，有啲人咧都唔知點解串唔到 validation， 又唔知點解串唔到 now 嘅。如果係咁咧，其實我哋有另外一個方法咧都做到同一件事嘅，就係有一個 field property 好易記嘅叫 required。你將佢 set 做 yes 咧。咁你又做到同一件事。We don't do the two things together because the effect is only one, alright？ 我哋唔使做晒兩個，做其中一個都係嘅啦。So if you cannot spell really well, try to remember required yes, alright? Those two things come together. 如果你串唔到字嘅咧，如果你試下咧就串一啲簡單嘅，譬如你 set required 做 yes 嘅，做同一件事啦，就係即係咧唔準漏一啲嘢。We only have to learn two field properties here, and that two will be test, alright, or ask when we go for exam or open book test. 我哋呢度咧有好多 field properties 嘅，但係其實我哋就係會考慮呢兩個嘅啫，就係 index 同埋 validation rule is not now. Okay. Now after we change all those rules, we add all those rules to the database table, we have to save it. When you save it,
as expected, the computer will ask you to check the previous data. Because your new rule may not be able to let the previous data pass it, right? That's why computer recommends you to check it. You can say yes, right? Yes, let the computer check it. If the past data, okay, can satisfy the rule, nothing will be shown, right? Your rule can be implemented right away. If there is any problem in the existing data, those rules will not carry out until you change the data.
咁咧，你一 save 嗰陣時咧，佢會警告你㗎嚇，問你以前啲即係你入嗰啲嘢係咪都同呢個規則係冇違背嘅咧？佢叫你 check 下。如果你 check 咗冇事咧，佢就唔出聲。如果你 check 咗啲 data 係唔啱嘅咧，咁佢點咧？佢要你搞翻你啲 data 先至可以做呢啲 rules 嘅。咁呢度都係嘅。Alright, now the data is okay, so we can close it, and that's basically what we have for exercise 3 about setting relationship, about setting field columns. Now, the next exercise we have to work on is extremely important. It's asking database question. From time to time, if you take a look at the past paper, a lot of the database questions will be about this one, question database. Question database in order to do it successfully, we have to memorize this table. 咁咧呢個部分咧就極之緊要嘅，因為每一次嘅考試咧，關於 access 咧都一定咧係關於你點樣問 database 嘅。咁要識得問 database 咧，你要背咗呢個71呢個表啊，因為呢個表咧係幫你問嘢嘅。你唔識呢個表發生咩事個咧，你問唔到嘢喎。Let's take a look at this table. They may look very complicated, but actually it's only 3 areas. You can understand it in three aspects, right? The first aspect is you're asking something very precise, very definite. We call it definite search. 咁呢個表雖然好似好複雜咧，其實可以用3部分嚟到睇嘅。第一部分咧就係你去揾一啲咧係好確切嘅嘢 ，definite 好確切嘅嘢。Right? For example, I'm now searching for wall, and that wall will be capital letter W, small letter O, small letter N, small letter G, right? 咁咧，你可能咧就係想揾黃啦嚇，黃呢個係點咧？係大階 W、細階 N、O、細階 N、細階 G， 你好確切知道個處法係咁嘅。咁我哋會用呢個等於幫手。And remember, if the thing that you are looking for, searching, is a text, you have to use double quote, right? Double quote. Double quote is actually the button next to enter. You have to press shift the single quote and then you have the double quote. 嗱咧，你用雙引嚟到引住嗰個黃字嘅嚇。咁咧呢個咧係用雙引啦，個雙引嗰個掣咧就喺個 enter 嘅掣隔離。咁你要撳 shift 一個單引掣先有雙引掣。咁你唔好將個單引掣撳2次就以為自己雙引掣。好笑啊！有人真係咁問㗎，之前好搞笑過嘅。So it's a double quote, right? It's not pressing a single quote 2 times, right? No. But for number, you never double quote. Otherwise, it will change to something else that the computer can understand. 但係如果數字咧，譬如呢個啊大個或者等於一啲數字啊，咁你就千祈唔好雙引喎。如果唔係見到就唔知發生咩事啦。Now we have equal, not equal. This one is not equal. And between we have bigger, smaller, or bigger, equal, smaller, equal, right? That's for definite search, right? 當我哋好知道我哋要問嗰樣嘢嘅樣嗰陣時，我哋會用呢個嘅。However, sometimes we don't really know the exact form of something that we look for. We just have a few patterns that we know we're looking forward to see it. And then we have to use like. 但係有時候咧，我哋咧就唔好清楚自己問嗰啲嘢嘅真實嘅樣子，我哋淨係記得部分。咁我哋咧就會用呢個啦 ，like 呢個咧就係我哋叫 pattern search 啊，啲模式或者咧係唔確切嘅時候用。For this one here, if you use like, you have to link it with a wildcard, right? That will be star from time to time. 咁呢個咧會黐埋一個咧就係星星嘅百搭卡嚟嘅。咁我哋咧會咁做啦。For example, we will say like W star, meaning that you're looking for something starting with a big W, but you don't know what it is. That could be Wong, Wu, okay, or When, something like that. 咁你就揾嗰啲特標字頭嘅，譬如黃啊、胡啊，你唔知後面咩嘅喎，咁所以你用個星星代表咗佢。Now this one actually needed to be double quoted as well, but the tutorial notes have a mistake, so you have to add it back if you print out. 嗱呢個咧其實都要雙引嘅，因為佢係字嚟嘅。不過咧個 tutorial notes 咧就漏咗啊，所以你記得係用雙引啊 ，like double quote, W star. The last one is about shortcut, right? Shortcut for you to enter a range, for example, between and come together, allowing you to check range. In, allowing you to check something that happened only once. This is actually multiple or. In the practice here, you can include actually 10 or 20 things, not only 3. 咁呢個兩個咧就係便利嚟嘅，你識同唔識都冇所謂嘅其實。不過識咗咧就可能快啲，譬如呢個咧就 check 一個 range 嘅 between and。in 咧就係 multiple or 即係我好多次。咁咧呢度咧其實唔係淨係放3個嘅，放20幾、30個嘢都得㗎。Alright, that's about the basic things we have to learn about a table. Now you can try the question database. Now, whenever we deal with query question, dealing with query question is like you're dealing with math question, but it's very strict actually. First of all, we have to make sure the column asked, right? For example, this one here, they asked us for only 5 columns. ID, last name, first name, salary, position code, and the 5 column must also be in this order. We cannot change the order. Otherwise, we are not dealing with this query. 嗱，做詢問咧，你要好留意，好似做數一樣咧。咁佢咧要問你嘅嘢咧，你就要有晒啦。譬如呢度有5個 column， 你有5個，同埋個次序都要一樣嘅。嗱，呢個緊要嘅喎嚇，你立亂咁樣更換啲次序咧，你就唔係做緊嗰題㗎啦。So 2 plus 3 and 3 plus 2 here actually different thing。即係如果數學上面2加3同3加2係一樣，但係呢度唔一樣嘅嚇，2同埋3個位置掉轉咗咧，咁佢就係另外一題嘅，所以你小心啦嚇，啲位置唔好搞佢。Alright, now let's work on the first question. The first question is you have to ask for all the employee information and then you have to sort it by last name in ascending order. Alright, let's do it. To make a query, we have to go to the create work ribbon and then we go to queries. Now we don't use wizard because that would be too bad. We want to be much more flexible, so we go for query design. For example, and this is also what we call QBE, Query by Example, that we learn in our lecture. 要去問 database 咧，我哋咧就要去 create 工作，大家咧揾翻詢問嗰度咧要撳呢個Query Design， 因為呢個咧就比較彈性啲。呢個而家我哋做緊嘅亦都係我哋上課講嘅叫 QBE 啦。Now today we will do some simple asking on database, so we just need only one table. Next time we question 2 tables, right? So we just need employee and put it on the query workbench. We click add.
今次我哋問一個資料表啫，所以就撳呢個啦，跟住 add 咗係咪？放咗喺個台邊度 ，and then we close it.
And then we have to take a look at the columns needed. The columns needed would be ID, last name, first name, second position code, right? We can click ID and then double click.
It will go down, right? 咁我哋可以撳住一個先啦，我哋要嗰個就撳咗佢，跟住 double click 咧就會跌咗落嚟㗎啦。ID.
The second one we need will be last name, double click,
and it will be there.
And the third one is first name, double click,
and it's there.
And the last one is the second last one is what? Salary, double click,
and it's there.
And the last one is position, double click.
Position code, double click. 咁你 double click 或者撳住佢，跟住咧好似 drag and drop 咁拖落嚟都一樣嘅啫嚇，咁你做到呢邊嘅 part。
Remember the order is ID, last name, first name, second position code. And today we need to have last name sorted. So we go to
last name, the column last name here, and go to the third box, sort, and then you take a look at this pull-down menu. We can choose a setting for it. That means you are now sorting last name from A to Z, right? A setting.
你揀咗呢個咧，就 A 至 Z 咁樣排啲姓氏啦。Now,
this is the QBE answer, right? In examination, we will give you field, table, sort, show, criteria, or, and then you have to copy a blank one to your answer book and write down all those things. 咁考試咧就會俾咗譬如 field、table、sort 呢啲咁嘅字你，跟住咧叫你抄落本考試簿度，然後咧你填咁填晒佢。In examination, you can't run anything there. You just have to answer this one if you have to. Alright, answer the query question.
咁考試咧冇見到 run 嘅嚇，所以咧你就答呢個咧就係叫答咗 QBE 嘅答案啦。But in computer lab, we can run it. To run it is very simple. We go to design and we turn to run, and then we can have the result.
咁考試咧冇得 run 嘅嚇，所以呢個都聽唔到嘅嚇，考試都唔會考嘅，考唔到你 run 嘅，因為仲有電腦先 run 到。Now take a look at last name is now start from A to Z, right? CHLM1, right? Is A to Z.
Now this is a question. If your database has only 8 records, we have 8 there. If your database has 800 records,
it will be 800 there.
咁視乎你 database 有幾多嘢，如果得8隻，咁啊8隻排你咯。如果你有800隻嘅，咁啊800隻㗎啦。Now this is a question you ask successfully, you can save it. To save it is very simple. We go to the top left-hand corner, you press the save button, or you press Ctrl S. This question has a name. What's the name of the question? The question name is employee list by last name. 咁呢個 question 咧有名嘅嚇，就叫 employee list by last name. Let's type it. The query name is called employee list by last name. Once you type it, you press OK. And then you see
the question will be saved here, right? This question will be saved here, and employee list by last name, and we call it a field. 咁你將呢個問題儲低咗之後咧，咁佢就會出現咗呢個公仔㗎啦。呢個公仔咧就係每次你撳翻嚟咧，佢就會見到呢條嘢。
Okay, now let's work on the second one. The second one is a new query and is asked for those people to be executive officer. So we are practicing equal here, right? This bunch of things. 今次咧，我哋咧就做確切詢問啦，揾一啲咧係叫行政主任嘅人出嚟啊。We can make use of the old one and modify a little bit to satisfy the second one. 咁我哋可以攞住呢個嚟改嘅。In order to change this one, we have to go to home and then we have to click the design view. This is a pencil and the ruler button. Now, because we are changing the first one to the second one, right? So we have to delete descending first. Delete descending. And then this time, because the new question will be about asking who is the executive officer, right? So we have to concentrate on position code. Now for position code there, we will go to the fifth box this time. That will be criteria. We leave it there, and we know it's EO, right? So we type equal EO because we know exactly what's the things that we look for, right? EO. We have to type equal double quote EO close double quote. 咁你要打咧，等於啦，開雙引號，大家 E 大家 O， 跟住刪雙引號 ，right? That's the perfect way writing out, right? EO. And this is also the QBE answer. If this is an examination, we will actually write this one out in the answer book. Now, in the computer lab, we can run it still, right? That's something that we can do more. We can go to design and run it. Ta-da! See? All the EO will be chosen out. Will be chosen. Now, this is something that we changed from the old query, right? So we have to go to file and save object as. 咁呢個咧係改人嚟嘅，所以我哋咧要走去 file 度另存啦。The name for this question is called executive officer this time. 咁呢個新嘅詢問咧就叫做行政主任啦 ，executive. So we save it as executive officer, and we press OK to confirm the saving. And then if you go outside, you're gonna find out after employee list by last name, we now have a new query made here called executive officer. Save object as. Now, we continue asking something indefinite way. This time is number, right? Number. 咁我哋繼續咧做一啲確切詢問，今次咧試下啲大個細個啦，今次用數字嚇。Now, this time I want to find all the people whose salary is more or equal to, more or the same as 20,000. That's why I say 20,000 up. Right. And we can still make use of the old one, executive officer, to satisfy question 3 and save it as a new name. So let's go to home and then we press the design button, the pencil, right, and ruler button. Now because we changed the old one, of course we have to delete equal EO now. This time we have to concentrate on salary. 今次啦，我哋要睇住 salary 啦。And we have to go to the fifth box of salary, 我哋走去第二個格 and that's criteria. Now, because we need to go for some people whose payment is 20,000 or more, so we have to type bigger than equal to 20,000 there, right? That's what we have to type, and that's the QBE answer for this question. 嗱，而家我做一樣嘢係錯嘅，有啲人咧成日都會做嘅。就係咧，特登喺數字嗰度咧做個雙引啦。如果你真係咁做會點咧？嗱，試俾你睇，你冇跟啊，呢個錯嘅。咁樣做咧，佢會冇出聲，但係當你 run 嘅時候咧，佢就會唔做到啦。Typing is not because computer cannot understand some number quota. Remember, that's why when it comes to number, we never quote it. Remember, right? But if we remove the double quote, ta-da! You're gonna find out, we can find all the person, all the people, I mean, they have the payment 20,000 or more, right? Selected. Then we can go to file and save object as, save as a new name, and this one is salary 20,000 up. Once you type the new name over the query, and then you click OK, and then you can come out, you're going to find out we have the new query saved, salary 20,000 up there. Right? There's another query. Now, after asking something definite, it's time that we try something indefinite or not very sure. We just know the pattern out of it. That would be like. And today we'd like to know some employee whose surname start with L, like Lee, Lu, okay, Low, something like that. 今次咧，我哋咧就問完啲確切嘅嘢，就問啲唔確切啦。就想問，譬如 L 字頭同事究竟有幾多個啦？譬如啲 Lee 啊、Luke 啊嗰啲Lam 啊呢啲咁嘅人，究竟會唔會喺個名單入邊咧 ？Right? And again, we can make use of the old one to change, so to change and satisfy the new query here. So we click the home button here and go for design. That will be pencil and ruler. First of all, we remove the all greater than equal 20,000 first because we are now changing this one for question number 4. And we go back to
Last name again. Last name here, this time we will go to the 5th box here and we'll type like L star.
But the best way to type it actually is like double quote big L star close double quote.
咁其實最好嘅打法咧就會係 like 跟住咧就係開雙引號，跟住咧就大街 L 升跟住閂雙引號，呢個就最正確嘅打法。咁我哋嘅書咧都留咗個 double quote，因為呢個係字嚟嘅，所以我哋會咁做。
Now some people, I just know why, they always link equal with like. If that's the case, that would be a mistake. 因為啲人咧唔知點解咧，就成日都要將個即係將個等於咧同個 like 就黐埋。嗱一個咧係確字，一個唔確字咧，你咁樣黐埋咧，見到即刻就唔知發生咩事啊嚇！我試俾你睇下，呢個係一個 mistake 嚟嘅。See, now I put equal next to like.
And if I do it like that, computer will say, okay, syntax error. Because computer is not sure whether you're asking for something definite or indefinite, right? So it's confused.
因為咧，如果你咁打咧，電腦即刻好模糊啦，就唔知你究竟想問確切定唔確切，所以佢即刻唔理嘅。So remember, like, equal or bigger and so on and something like that, they can't come to one another, right? They are opposite to one another. Alright, that's the QBE for question number 4. And you run it, you're gonna find out that
everything selected will be started with L, like Lee, Luke, okay?
And we have to go to file and save it as a new thing, right? So save object as.
The name for this one is very long, called list of employee last name L star.
It's a very long name, list of employees, last name, L star. And then you click OK, and you go to home, you're gonna find out we have used, right? Create a called list of employees, last name, L star. 呢個咧名嘅長啲啦，就叫做咧 L 字頭員工嘅列表啦。list of employees last name L star。Now we can close the query too。咁你都可以刪咗個新聞啦嚇。Now the 5th question is a little bit tricky because the column is only 3 of them, right? We have only 3 columns. But the things asked here cannot answer the query. 今次咧就一個比較咧就係要轉一轉啦，都冇咁直接嘅問題啦。佢問你落3個 column 啫，就係 last name、first name、salary。但係咧佢要佢係男同事喎，咁好難唔知㗎，因為你要咩名，譬如你要陳小花，可能佢係男，可能係女都唔知㗎喎。咁佢要男同事，咁點做咧？你可以試下。Let's make it right. Create a new one for it. 咁我哋做個新嘅俾佢。So for question number 5, let's go to create work ribbon and we go to queries and start a new one. Go to query design and we ask for run table again. So employee and add on the table and close it. Now before we go for who's the male, let's follow what's required for the column last name, first name, salary first. We can double click last name, double click first name, and double click salary first. 咁喺未知究竟男或女之前咧，我哋唔好理佢住啦。我哋首先咧就將嗰3個要嘅 column 放咗喺度先。Last name, first name, salary. Well, we know from those 3 columns we can't be sure who is male, who is female. So we have to go and check which columns help. Now among them, you're going to find out gender actually is the column that we can turn to. So let's double click gender. 咁咧你要去抄下啦，究竟邊一個 column 可以幫我哋揾到男女咧？其實係一個叫性別嘅 column 我哋可以用嘅，咁我哋撳咗落去。However, this one is not asked, so we have to first of all
in show here, uncheck this box. Right, that's important because this is the column used but not asked by the question. 嗱呢個咧，我哋咧要喺 show 嗰度咧就撳走咗顯示呢樣嘢啦，因為咧我哋淨係問人哋淨係問我哋3個 column 啫，就係 last name, first name, salary。我哋要用佢嘅，但我哋咧就唔顯示佢，因為人哋冇問我哋。Answer, right? People are not asking for us about gender, right? He is asking us only last name, first name, salary. So we use it, but we don't show it, right? And then we have to go to criteria for gender. And if you can still remember it, we use a big F to represent female, a big M to represent male, right? So if we want to find all the male, that will be a definite search. That's why we will use equal, open quotation, open double quote, big M, and close double quote. 因為我哋知道咧 F 咧，我用大家 M 咧就代表女士，大家 M 就男士。咁呢個咧 M 同 F 係一個 definite 嘅嘢，所以我哋咧用等於啦，等於大家 M。And that's the QBE answer for this tricky question. We use a column, we don't show it. And let's run it. Now, those are male. If your reporting of people is correct on gender, those people will be male. 如果你冇記錯人哋嘅性別咧，喺個儲存入邊咧，咁呢啲應該全部都係男士嚟㗎啦。Okay, let's press save button to save it, and we call this question male style. Right, male style. Here, male style. 咁我哋咧今日咧就儲存佢啦，就叫佢做男同事啦 ，male style。Now the last question is about short character. This time you're also asked to give 3 columns, and those people's salary must be between 10,000 and 15,000. So we're gonna be using this one, helping us between and. 咁今次咧最後呢個係練習咧一啲 shortcut 啦。咁我哋記得咧喺個表度咧有個叫 between and 嘅，今次用喺呢個範圍入邊啦。Well, we don't need gender anymore, so we can make use of the old one and change it and delete the gender column. 咁我哋可以用舊嗰個改佢啦。We go to home and go to design button, which is pencil and ruler. Now, because we now want to set the range for question number 6, gender is no longer needed, so we can go to the top of gender. You see a black arrow pointing downward. Click on it and delete it, right? And delete it using the keyboard. And then we go to the last column here, salary. We stop at the 5th box, criteria, and then we type between. Now, number, we never double quote. So this one, you want to enter 10,000. So simply type 10,000, but don't use double quote. Right? Remember, because computer cannot understand double quoted number. And that will be 10,000. Sorry, only 4 0. Right? 1 0. Okay, 0 0 0 0. 10,000 and 15,000. And that's the QBE for question number 6. And if you run it, you're going to find out all people within this range will be selected. And then we can go to File and Save Object as, because we changed from the previous one. And we will be calling it salary range from 10,000 to 15,000. And okay, then you have a new current name called salary range from 10,000 to 15,000. Right? Now that's the last question. That's the last query we have to work on today on exercise 4. Right? We can stop here, upload it, and complete the coursework, complete the tutorial today. 咁我哋喺刪咗咧上傳咗咧，咁完成今日嘅課堂。今日就問住一啲簡單嘅先啦。Next time we're gonna continue asking database, but we will have one more table add to it, which would be a little bit more complicated. 咁下一次咧我哋咧就會問下兩個 table 啦，咁啊複雜過今次一啲㗎啦。我哋繼續問過下一次。咁你上載完之後咧 check 完名咧就可以轉下一堂。Steve。You don't have to wait for me to finish calling the name. Once your name checked and you upload it, you can go right away. 陳浩儀。
你可唔可以俾啲 input 我？要俾啊！係 你講 detail 啲又唔得。喂，就係可以，即係你想去，即係你嘅夢想咧，可能
Carrie Chan，Carrie Chan，有冇 Carrie？
好大
陳嘉穎、
group 嚟㗎嘛，咁你喺裏邊做一
陳國浩、
識到好多唔同嘅，識到好多嘢。
陳子溫、
我咁短時間去一日就了解到。
卓小賢、
咁你見到都唔做，你見到都唔咁。
古山、
你咗小學
Esther Kwok、
其實都係啊，
林依婷、
即係總之話想去嗰度。
李樂希、李子傑、
再鋪翻咁先，
李婉婷、梁仲文、梁麗儀、胡耀曉、梁詠儀、Jeffrey、何卓明。